Hey guys, it's Camino. Thank you for watching my interview with Rob on Front Row Live.
Before we really dive in and talk about the music, like I want to talk about how you've kind of experienced so many hardships uh, throughout your career or the making of your career, from loss of family to homelessness to losing um, a label, but like you kept that motivation and that focus going. I feel like for other artists or other people in general, like it would be hard to keep moving forward. How are you able to stay motivated and keep that faith without losing it throughout this entire process?
It was hard, but I just wanted to win really bad, and I still do every day. So it's kind of, I don't know, that's like a driving force. Like I can't go back to what I'm used to, or like I don't want to go back to Mississippi and try to figure it out or whatever. Like that sounds horrible. So I'm just, I guess it's just like a drive and ambition. I mean, I can't stop. I've come too far, kind of situation, I guess.
And as we move forward and people are starting to, music fans are starting to get to know who you are as an artist and get to know your music, how did this collaboration or this new signing with Def Jam kind of come about, and what was it about Def Jam that you felt was the right move for you and your music?
Def Jam's in an interesting place. Def Jam is they're building right now and rebuilding from they are an incredible label, and they're building it up, again from what it once was. So I'm happy to be a part of that. And for me, I like to be a part of something that's growing as opposed to just kind of being handed something. So it's cool to like really be in the building and meet a lot of people, and that genuinely want me to win, and they genuinely want to help. You can't really pay for that kind of support. So it's cool to have just the realness around me, and just the generosity and like I said again, I mean I can't say it enough. Is genuine. It's just anything I need from them, they help me, and from not to knock any other label. You know what I mean? I love a lot of labels, but to me this one just felt the most. It made the most sense. It's such a legacy in its own. Just being Def Jam, but just now they're in the process of rebuilding, so it's like to be a part of that is an extreme honor. So I'm happy to be here.
So now that your debut EP Burning Fire is out, has been out for a couple months now, let's go back into the studio and talk about that creative process for these 5 tracks, especially because you're a songwriter and a multi-instrumentalist. So I feel like that's an amazing thing to have on your belt. But at the same time, I feel like it's a challenge because it's too many heads bouncing around in your head, as far as whether you're doing the drums, whether you're doing the instruments, whether you're doing the vocals or the songwriting. So talk to me a little bit about the creative process of this debut EP, and what kind of challenges did you find yourself facing in order to make this EP a reality?
The creative process for me was the same thing it is every day. I don't go into it like I'm writing an EP or an album. I'm just creating music. That's what I like to do. It's what I love doing. It's fun. So it's what keeps me happy and keeps me going every day. So uh, when it came down to it, and they're like, you need to put some records together for an EP or something to put out, I was like, that's gonna be tough because I love all my songs, I like my children. But it's cool. It's just dope to finally land on a couple records to give myself a body of work to share with the world. So it was definitely an interesting time. Like I said, man, I just like making music. So when it comes to putting all that stuff together, I'm like, you guys help me out with that. I just want to make the music and look pretty. That's it. I don't know how to do all that stuff, but that's a good reason to have them. 'Cause they know what they're doing with that kind of stuff.
And talk to me about Mel and Muss, and how that collaboration with them was like, and how do they make you kind of not only step out of your comfort zone, but also make you a better artist and songwriter?
Yeah, Mel and Moose are good friends of mine. We started making records together around 6, 7 years ago, and when you make music with people that you actually enjoy being around and you love and you grow with them and you go through hardships with them. And I lost my first situation and they were there for that, and then they stuck with me through this one. So it's like that loyalty again. It's like you can't buy that. So it's just cool to have people that believe in you. The unwavering belief. So we built a lot of these records, well, all of them from scratch. I mean, we were forcing records when there wasn't anything there sometimes. And sometimes it was harder than others, and sometimes it was, we made a song in 15 minutes, and that rarely happens. But it's just the chemistry of being with a group of people that understand each other, and been through all the stuff we've been through together. So it's always fun to make music with them. That I'll forever make music with those guys. That's very close and near dear to my heart. Producers, they're very talented, absolutely insane, and they helped me make a lot of great records. So I can't say enough good things.
Since you mentioned that you guys have collaborated together for years now, how do you feel you guys each help each other out during this process? Just because I feel like it's hard when you're working with the same producers over and over, but sometimes it's also um, it's also fun because you get to figure out new ways to get creative or new ways to step out of that comfort zone. So how do you feel you challenge them at the same time?
Um, they say it all the time. They say that I'd make them do stuff that they would never want to do. That's because, but they trust me. Like I said, it comes with a trust over years of making great records together. Being like, you know what, if we can try it, we're all willing to try anything once. I'm a firm believer in every artist should have a producer, at least one, that they are fully locked in with. Like, no matter what, they can always go back to the drawing board and make a record with that person, and it's going to be a certain caliber of a record. You had Dre and Snoop. You had like, it's just always people that have been like that. Like there's always been Paul Epworth and Adele. There's always been people that they go back to and they're able to make a record with no matter what. So with them, I like to think that I challenge them all the time, but they tell me I do. So it's interesting. That's more of a question for them, because I don't want to like overspeak for them. But I think I challenge them. I think I give them a run for their money sometimes, because I always
Vocally,
try to make
how
the biggest record possible, and they're
yeah.
like, "What does that mean?" And I'm like, "Just make this louder and the drums louder." And they're like, "No, that's too much." I'm like, "Just do it." And then we do it, and then sometimes it works, sometimes we hate it. So it's good to have the good back and forth with them.
Vocally, how would you say they challenged you on these five tracks? And which one of the five tracks do you feel challenged you the most as far as getting those ranges or getting the vocals done?
Out of those 5 tracks, the ones that vocally challenged me the most was probably Fiddle.
Mm,
Burning
it's one of my
Fire was,
favorites.
yeah, Burning Fire was vocally challenging, but at the same time, it kind of was an easier song to write since it was about my family and stuff, which we'll get into. But Fiddle was a lot of falsettos, and there was a lot of instrumentation breaks and stuff I wasn't really used to and didn't really necessarily want. And they kind of forced it on me and were like, just trust me, like, the musical happenings are what people want to hear, and they're not hearing them anymore. And it's a lot of back and forth, and I trusted them, and it came out great, and now it's one of my favorite songs. So, but vocally, yeah, that song was weird. I mean, it's still kind of, when I do it live, it's probably my favorite song to sing live, besides Burning Fire. But it's up there. It's a lot. It's a fun live song. So they were right about it. I mean, the breaks give me time to breathe.
Now, did the idea of having a fiddle in there start as you were writing the song, or how did that come about?
Have you ever heard the song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia"
I can't say I have. No,
by the Charlie Daniels Band?
no, I can't say I have.
It's a classic song in the South, and it's about this guy who sold his soul to play the fiddle onto
Mm,
the devil. And it's a super massive song. I mean, you got to go listen to it. And it was kind of like a play on that for me, but I wanted to make it more about somebody who sold their soul to sing, just so it's more relatable. But
mm,
I wanted to make and it's the only record like that on the whole album that's fictitious. Like everything else I write from a real or something that happened to me in my life, or a real situation. So Fiddle was interesting because I was literally just making stuff up. I mean, you're kind of just going through and making a story about, you're writing a story. So that was, and granted, we do that every time when we write a song, but for that one, it was extra difficult because I was like, well, man, I can kind of say anything I want to say. So it was interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to make a song about a guy selling his soul, and to just to get some money and the fame, and was tired of living a normal life. And uh, you know, obviously I would never do that, but it's just like it's just something to play around with. It was fun. It's a fun song.
As far as Burning Fire, because that song is so personal to you, do you feel like that was a challenge to kind of open up in the writing process and also in the recording process, just because, it's you being the most vulnerable you can be?
Absolutely. I wasn't gonna put it out for a while. I
Mm.
wanted to. For me, it was therapy for myself. It was just a song to kind of help me cope and keep going. As the song got closer to closer and getting done, and I heard more things and wanted to hear choir and other instruments, and we started bringing other people in, and then I started to fall in love with it more and more. And then I started playing it for people, and they started going crazy, and people were like, "You got to put it out." I was kind of forced to put that song out. It was, a lot of people were like, "The world needs this." People love this. I was like, "Cool, I love it." Like hopefully it can help somebody like it helped me. It was definitely challenging. I was writing about a real situation that I was actually upset about, so I wanted to do it justice and not butcher it. And I feel like I did that. So for myself, it's like a mission well done. But um, yeah, it was definitely challenging, but it came out incredible, and I can't. I couldn't recreate that song if I wanted to.
Vocally, though, how are you able to control your vocals throughout this entire song, being that, again, it's so personal?
It's hard. It's emotional for me sometimes. But then vocally, you mean as in when I'm singing live?
When you're singing live, or even when you were recording the track, just because I feel like there's
Yeah,
some
man.
parts where
Yeah, it's
your
hard,
voice could
man.
have easily cracked.
Yeah, of course, it's hard. But the good thing about the studio is you can do it again. So you could take a break and come back. So that's fine. Live is a whole different sport in a sense. It's it happens right there, and and there's no second take. So when you get emotional, I feel like you just kind of got to embrace those emotions. People feel that. They want to feel that. They want to experience that. That's the point of coming to see it live. They don't want, if you sound exactly like the record, that's boring in my
Yeah.
opinion. So yeah, it's but yeah, in the studio you can just redo it, man. You just, if it gets too hard, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette and I'll come back. Talk to you guys, or I may even take a whole day off. Sometimes I don't care. Whatever it takes to get the record done, I'll do it. So
Another track that I loved was Better Than Me, just because it's focused more on your vocals, less on the instrumentation and everything around you. What was that recording process for that song in particular? And did you initially have in mind to just mainly feature your vocals on this track?
um, I really wanted it to be just a record with me and a piano.
Mm.
Not even so much as any other instrumentation. I wanted it to be a very personal record, like you said, and vulnerable. And Better Than Me was, I just went through a terrible breakup and I needed to get out of that relationship. But at the same time, I was still hurt, and you still deal with that inside of your brain. So for me, I was dealing with it and trying to move on and just figure it out. And uh, that was the best way to do it, was to get it out in words and do a song. That's the only way I can ever really get through something, really, honestly. That's why I write from a lot of real life situations for my songs. Like I say in the hook, he knows what it takes to be better than me. It's kind of a sarcastic phrase, like I guess he knows what it takes to be better than me is what I really wanted to say. But hopefully people caught that. It's an emotional record, and it's a rough one. It's never fun to talk about stuff like that.
Right. Now, since you write music on issues that you have gone through or experiences that you've gone through, do you feel that at the end of the day, once you have that song written, do you feel emotionally drained at all?
Quite the opposite.
Mm.
um I feel relieved. I feel like I got it off, like it was a stress reliever.
Mm.
It helps me a lot. It's just like I said, man, it's like therapy for me. um I don't ever feel emotionally drained. I feel more just like I can breathe again, like I'm just
Yeah.
happy again. uh but obviously that fades away too, and then that's the point of making the songs. You can keep listening to it and understand where you were at, and you got that off, and you kind of put it in that space of that song, and you don't deal with it again. I have to do that because I'll harp on something and just live on it for a long time, and it becomes really toxic in my brain. So I gotta do it, put it, record the song and put it out and be done with it.
Right. Now, the fact that you can play so many different instruments, did you find yourself playing a lot of the instruments on these 5 tracks, or did you have session players come in and take that part of the work for you?
We had a lot of session players come in because I'm not a flawless player. When it comes down to doing the record, I like the inconsistencies and I like the flaws sometimes, but with it being the first record and my first album and EP and everything, I really wanted it to be kind of perfect. So yeah, we hired people and brought in session players that they could play this stuff in their sleep. So it's quicker, it's faster, and you're dealing with people that know what they're doing. If I would have tried to do all of it, I probably would have stressed myself out and recorded it 167 times or something. So it's just cool to have those people there and at your disposal, and they were all great and the best musicians in the world. That's what they get paid to do. So
And lastly, to close us off, during these 5 tracks, which one would you say was the most challenging to finalize in the writing process? And did you find yourself rewriting or tossing it at one point and then starting from scratch all over again?
Burning Fire for sure.
Hmm.
There was times where I didn't want to finish the song. There was times where I was like, I've said everything I need to say. And then Mel or Moose would push me and say, you got to finish it. You got to finish it. You got to do something here. You got to do something there. You got to change the words here. And it was, I was just kind of done with it, mentally done with the song. I was like, now that song emotionally drained me. That was like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to deal with this. I want to move on from it. It became more like, it started feeling like a job for a little bit to kind of finish it. But then it's kind of like in the middle of the night when you can't sleep and you're tired, but then you catch your second wind. That's kind of what happened with me with that song. I caught a second wind, and then I was like absolutely determined to finish it no matter what, and make sure it was the best record possible, to do it justice for my aunt and uncle and for myself. So yeah, that one. There was a lot of times I was like, "Fuck this song," but I had to finish it. I had to. So I did it, and I'm glad I did, and I love it, and it's everything I thought it was going to be, and I gotta say thanks to those guys for pushing me to finish it.
That's amazing, man. Well, congratulations with the release of this debut EP and the signing, of course. And I'm excited to listen to more music from you. I definitely love your sound and I love the things that you write about. And I'm definitely going to be looking forward to more music from you soon.
Absolutely, let's do it. Let's talk some more. Let's talk soon. Album coming later this year,
Amazing,
so
man.
we'll get a lot more music. I saved a lot of good ones for the album, so a lot of them that I held back on for the EP, so that I can keep giving people quality music.
Right. Now,
You
would,
know,
would you say would you say the album has more of a theme to it, or is that something that you're still trying to figure out?
the album definitely has a theme to it.
Hmm.
It sits in its own kind of world. Uh, the EP was kind of to show people I can do this, this, and this, and this, and this. There's like 5 different kind of records.
Right.
The album kind of follows a theme, but it is still kind of all over the place. It's Camino music. There's not
Yeah.
really a genre. It's I guess you can call it pop music, but it's like it's new pop. It's anti-pop. I'm breaking all the rules of what a pop song should have in it. I don't because I don't care. I'm just trying to make a good sounding song. That I
Right.
like. So yeah, I'm excited about it. The album's gonna be absolutely incredible. That's what I'm looking forward to. I just like letting people hear my music,
Yeah.
anything in the world. So I can't wait for people to hear it and see what they think.
Awesome, man. Well, neither can I. And for sure, we'll have to reconnect once the album is ready to drop. So
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, man.